Hello, students and teachers of English A Language and Literature for the IB Diploma Program. It's Brad Philpott here with another little video trying to help you do well on your IB exams. And today the focus is the higher level essay, and more specifically, this is just a video on how to write a good line of inquiry. I've also got another video coming out soon on how to organize and structure the essay, so keep an eye out for that. So some basics on the HL essay. As you know, it's about a literary work that you've explored in class or a non-literary body of work that you've explored in class. It should be between 1,200 and 1,500 words, and it's about a line of inquiry, a question, a research question that you've designed, and perhaps with some guidance from your teacher. It's 20% of your final grade, so take it seriously. Try to get into this literary or non-literary work through this question. I'd like to give you one example of a good line of inquiry. To what extent does Greta Gerwig challenge or reinforce gender stereotypes in the feature film Barbie? Now, I know it was a popular movie. Lots of us saw it. I know some teachers are teaching it and students are writing about it. There are a lot of good elements to that question that I'd like to explore. First of all, it has the title of the film or the work in it, and I think that's really good. Some students, unfortunately, put the name of a character in there. I would warn against that. Barbie, of course, is a character in this movie, but make sure that the work is very prominent in that question. Another thing that's worth exploring is the author's message. Why did the writer write in the first place? Is there evidence of authorial intent? Did Greta Gerwig intend to challenge readers and viewers or reinforce gender stereotypes? What's her intent in all of this? And that is worth asking if you're going to get into textual analysis, right? Criterion B. Authorial choices. Sometimes students put these into their question, and I don't think it's necessary. If you were, it might look something like this. How does she use set design, narrative technique, or character development to challenge and reinforce these gender stereotypes? I don't think it's necessary, but do keep style in mind. I know that some entire essays are about motif, use of motifs, and that's fine if you want to put an authorial choice into the question. But just keep in mind there will be a thesis statement, and these elements make me think already that there's some sense of organization here or a thesis statement coming up. Your higher level essay should be a persuasive essay. It really should have an argument, and that's why I like the phrase "to what extent," because it forces you to be evaluative, which is also in the assessment criteria. The phrase "to what extent" is popular for good reason. It really infuses a little bit of why into the how. Why does Greta Gerwig do this, and to what extent is she effective in doing this, is worth asking in that essay. A lot of essays questions start with how, and I find that always a little bit concerning. Not to say that you can't write a great essay on a line of inquiry that starts with the word how, but the word how does lend itself well to a descriptive essay. And essentially what we're after is a why and a so what. Why does all of this matter? What's the message? What's the argument, right? I know that it's also very popular, and for good reason, to include a concept in the line of inquiry. And so you'll see words, concepts from the guide, like transformation, identity, representation, perspective, culture, communication, and creativity. These are not the only concepts out there, but they're certainly relevant to this course. And I think the word gender stereotypes, that phrase, is very relevant to identity, representation, perspective, culture, communication. So I think that word gender stereotype in this line of inquiry is very important. It serves a strong purpose. I know that also some students like to include an audience response in the question. To what extent has this text been effective in speaking to a certain group of people? That's fine too. That's really interesting. The essay will have to address how audiences, how readers, viewers have responded to the work. And so if you don't include it in the question, that's fine, but make sure that you are addressing it in the essay itself. So, you know, those are some tips on what to include in your line of inquiry. I also want a little bonus round here, answer another question about research. And a lot of students ask me, well, do I need secondary sources? I often say yes, because they are out there and they are going to inform your opinion, your understanding, your claims about the work. I want you to go beyond SparkNotes or lit charts and find a review. If you're working from Wikipedia, check out some of the sources that it cites. There are lots of great video essays out there, more and more. The quality of those are getting better. So besides the screenshots that you would have in an essay about film or a play or a performance, or quotes if you're working on a novel or a play as well, then I do recommend that you have secondary sources. How many secondary sources do you need to have? I don't know exactly. It's perhaps a nice one per paragraph is interesting. Maybe not necessary. I like quotes in secondary sources in the introduction already, starting with like a real world problem. This person has said this about this work, which makes readers wonder why, and so forth. Yeah, so look, I hope these little tips on how to write a line of inquiry help. I have more examples of good lines of inquiry and some tips on my website, on the support site. So feel free to check out that. I'll include a link here to it. You can like my feed, subscribe to it, and all that too. I look forward to seeing you all in the English A Language and Literature world. Good luck on those essays.